People, Deluded, a quick video. I've made one video in Soho Square. I forgot to actually continue where I left off. So what was I going to say? First and foremost, I'd like to speak about Mavropanos. Now, his time at Nuremberg against, I believe the first game was Hamburg, he gave away a penalty, he had a terrible game. But in his last 2-3 games, he's really turned a corner. He's looked composing in the air based on the highlights and what I see. He looks fairly comfortable with the ball at his feet. Most importantly, he's getting men's senior experience and seems to be staying fit. I believe, obviously, Mavropanos, we heard a lot about potential and things, and I think in his situation, he runs the risk of becoming a forgotten man, but it's a lot of these sort of young players, the Holdings, the obviously Martinelli and Saka, but the Holdings, the Nelsons, the Maitland-Niles, all of these sort of players, these young ones, whether they make it here or not, we've got to be making money on them. And Mavropanos, he might prove not to be good enough, but we need to be able to make a 10 to 20 million on him, a decent lot of, you know, if we can't integrate him into the first team in any capacity. I believe he signed a 6-year deal as well. But moving away from that, people, the Daily Mail has said that we're still in for Kazawa. He remains high on Arteta's wanted list for the summer, with both Kolasinac and Kieran Tierney yet to prove their fitness on a regular basis to secure the left-back role. Now, I'm not too sure I believe that, or I don't know what to believe, because weren't there reports that Arteta vetoed that signing despite the club wanting to bring him in? I don't know how true that is. At the moment, there's 3 men on the books that can play left-back. Maitland-Niles and Suarez can also do that as well, but there's Kolasinac, Tierney, and obviously Saka can do that as a makeshift fullback, even though he does it very well. I think Kolasinac's future impacts whether we bring in a left back or not, because he's contracted until 2022. He's on respectable wages. Is he outstandingly the first choice? Potentially not. He's someone the club might look to move on. I'm not too sure, because form, he's proven he can do something. So to bring in Kazawa wouldn't make much sense, because surely he would command similar wages to Kolasinac. I don't have his age to hand, but he must be 27 at least. So your agent should be pushing for a minimum 3 to 4 year deals to carry you at your new club until you're at least 31, people. Because of obviously when you turn 30, it's difficult to get that deal. So it wouldn't make much sense, really and truly. So that's probably nonsense. It is what it is. Apparently, Arsenal, Man United and Chelsea are all looking at bringing Rafeal Camacho, former Liverpool, and actually Sporting Lisbon, but he plays at Sporting Lisbon, want to bring him back to the country. Came through Liverpool's academy, got his chance in the first team as a fullback. Didn't really happen for him at Liverpool. Not really set the world alight at Sporting, but he's made double-figure appearances and he has a solitary goal. He's not a regular in their team, but he's made decent progress. And obviously, scouts from all over Europe are always going to be interested in every player. You can imagine Chelsea, Arsenal and United are always at Sporting games, as well as a number of Portuguese teams, because of obviously the players that come out of Portugal, because of obviously in particular with South American talents and things like that. You look at Portugal and Ukraine, work permit laws make it easier for these sort of players, and that's why it's typically their first stop into Europe a lot of times, people. For a lot of players, Ukraine and Portugal seem to be the first little inroad, way before Di Maria and Luis won Champions League respective. Well, did Di Maria win champs at Madrid? I'm sure he did, I could be wrong. But before they won Champions League at their respectable clubs once upon a time, they were playing for Benfica. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know how much truth there is in relation to that, people, really and truly. But yeah, man, I would like to see us watching every player. If he's good enough, why not bring him back? Away from that, previous rumours, we've all saw that we was after England youth international Brad Young, who plays for Hartlepool. 17, good height, and he's got a lot of potential. All the top 6 clubs have been linked with him. Currently, apparently, Chelsea are stealing the march in relation to signing him. Arsenal obviously tried to sign him last summer, as well as Man United. So I don't know if there's any truth in it, or if it's actually going to happen. Apparently, we've joined the race, which has been previously reported. We've joined the race with Aston Villa to bring in Siad Benrahma. I can never say his name, but that Brentford trickster, the Algerian trickster, people. The guy moves like Ronaldinho sometimes. Like, between him and Eze of QPR, I don't know who as a fullback I would want to play against, because I'd end up trying to kick them both off the park, because some of the things he does to players is embarrassing. Obviously, who knows if he can do it in the Championship, but you'd imagine he won't be at Brentford before too long. I think he's got double figures for goals and assists, and if I'm wrong on that, he's got a decent return. He's obviously a nightmare to play against as a fullback. He can play simple, he can play long, he's comfortable with a ball at his feet. Very much an Algerian player, people, and he's very much in touch with his culture, because a lot of Algerian players, when I see them, especially growing up, and I used to play with a lot of peers, they're very skillful. They like to not show off, but they like to be expressive. They're not boring footballers, and he's very much that. And obviously no one knows if he can do all that nonsense in the Premier League, but he's someone that I would like if he could do it, because We need people that are brave with the ball at their feet, that want to try things, and he's still developing. But he's someone I would like to sign. And obviously, if Villa stay in the league, he'd be a great signing for them. And with Brentford's model of buying players and making a profit, you'd imagine he'd make them a handsome profit, people. So we'll see how that one goes. And under 23's defender has left on loan, people. 20-year-old Joseph Olowu has completed, or is in fact set to complete, a short-term move to Ireland, and he'll join Cork City. Reports say he's been trialling with the side in relation to a loan spell. And obviously, he's 20 years of age. He needs to be exposed to senior football to have a career, because 23's football is a graveyard, people. It's not teaching you. And he's 20 years of age. He's very much stuck in that, I don't know what's the right word, where you're stuck in that, where you're not really going to get a look in at 23's level. I mean, beyond 23's level at Arsenal, with all the injuries we've had at centre-half, clearly you're not going to get a look in. 23's football isn't going to train you up unless you play against the occasional first-team striker that's not getting a look in, or the occasional game against a big club. I don't really think it prepares you. So obviously he's gone out on loan, or he's seek to go on loan, I guess I assume, to English League 1, League 2, or obviously Ireland. Cork City is the one, and we wish him all the best as he continues his development, people. Personally, I don't think he's cut out to have a future at Arsenal, but you know, I always want to be proved wrong. That's my opinion. I'm not Arsenal coach or manager, so my opinion is irrelevant. That's just me as a fan that watches youth football. But you want to see him develop, you want to see him have a good career. And I'm looking at people like Medley as well, Zach Medley, who hasn't got a look in at first team level. And I'm thinking, you're seeing your peers forced to issue and go out on loan. Don't you want to go out on loan? Because I don't know when the loan market officially closes, but I do think it'd be a wasted season personally if Medley doesn't get a taste of senior football on a short-term basis elsewhere. I won't see, because for me, you look at a number of these players, you look at Tyrese, you look at Nelson, and all them players in the first team, they're at this, Eddie as well, they're at the stage now, in August of last year, a year from them, which would be 2020, they've got to look at it and say, okay, am I a dramatically better player than I was last year? Am I, have I improved by minimum 15%? Have I improved greatly? They need to make strides now, people. You're only going to make strides testing yourself, and that's why I'm happy with a lot of these players. Medley looked to be going on loan in the summer. I think Bold convinced him to stay. Ballard's returned to the club after his injury. Harry Clark has signed a new deal and bossed it at 23's level. He might be someone that goes on loan next season. But a lot of them need to go on loan. Robbie Burton, you hear reports allegedly the club tried to find him a temporary home on loan, but there was a lack of interest. How true that is, I don't know. But you've got to get out 23's football as quickly as possible. It's not the best ground for development. It is what it is in that regards, but I need to get out of here, people. You know I'll hit you back with some more vids sooner or later. In the meantime, check out my previous content. But for now, DG, I'm out.